Namaste, welcome to Yin and Flow and Restore Yoga, which will end in Yin. So for this practice, you want to have a couple of blocks as you see them behind me, a strap, a bolster, which is a pillow, and a blanket, and any additional props that you might find useful personally. I invite you to sit in any position that allows you to feel balanced at the bottom of your body. So you might sit up on any of your props, and also allows your spine to feel tall but not rigid. Take a moment to adjust yourself as you need and visually orient, which means look around your space to acknowledge what's enticing to your senses, colors, shapes, and textures. It's just a way to mentally arrive in the present moment. I want to start with a very short, it's not even a quote, but there's a list of 50 ways to open your world to new possibilities. And I'm only going to read one of those 50 ways today. This is written in Tiny Buddha. And that one way is turn your focus from something you don't want to something you do want. Turn your focus from something you don't want to something you do want. You might have heard me talk a bit in the past about Abraham Hicks, who was a teacher in the law of attraction. And they're always talking about our vibration, and our vibration is often reflected in how we're feeling emotionally in the present moment. And when we are talking about what we don't want, we are vibrating the feeling state of what it is we don't want. And when we are focusing our attention on what we do want, like visualization, which will be part of our meditation today, even fantasizing, giving yourself a moment to fantasize what it is that you want to create in any area of your life, then you're actually starting to create the feeling tone of it already in fruition, which is the vibration of your desire. And so I invite you, as you're going to, in a moment, set your intention for this practice, to tune into how you frame that intention through words, the words that you choose. So veering away from, for example, I'm going to be guiding a yoga class at the beach this weekend, and I would like great weather. So instead of saying something like, I don't want it to rain on Sunday, I could say, I invite sunny, warm weather at the beach this Sunday. So can you even feel the difference in my choice of words? So veering away from negatives like don't and not. And here's what actually what I just read. It says, turn your focus from something you don't want to something you do want. This allows you to shift your energy from complaining to taking action. And you could probably already shift the feeling of that difference of choice of words. So let's begin our practice, checking in first with our outermost layer of being, the physical. As you relax your body into alert stillness, you might even close your eyes, maybe rest a hand on your chest and belly or hands on your lap. And begin to notice any physical sensations. Acknowledging how you're feeling in your body in this moment. Begin to feel the breath in its natural state. Sensing how you're feeling energetically. Become more aware of your heart and your mind, tuning into how you feel mentally and emotionally. Now allow the breath to deepen as you inhale to your nose and exhale to your mouth. Even slower inhaling without straining the breath. And again, out through the mouth. And try that one more time, maybe even slower. And if it's comfortable for you, I invite you to continue to deepen the breath with your lips closed. So just breathing through the nose. And before we set our intention, let's help to raise our vibration by acknowledging one or a few things that you appreciate, that you sincerely appreciate right now in any aspect of your life. You might even start to feel a slight shift energetically. Now, from that place, begin to formulate the words of your intention and maybe even say them out loud 2 or 3 times to yourself. Intention being anything in your life that you are inviting to create a shift in some way, or reinforce or let go of. Can you feel the energy of the words that you've chosen? And now I invite you to choose somebody else besides yourself that you might share the benefit of this practice with by simply making an offering of it, dedicating this practice to them. And now let's set our intentions and dedications, as well as create a resonance space to share our practice in by chanting Om 3 times. Let's breathe in a little deeper. Now, as you continue to feel that energy of your intention or conjure it up in yourself, see if you can bring that into how you begin to move and still your physical body. Let's start to practice a breathing technique that invites calm, balance, and focus. Ujjayi pranayama, victorious breathing. So by continue to breathe with your lips closed, gently narrow or softly constrict the back of your throat to create a very gentle whispering sound that you can listen to as you balance and lengthen the breath in and out. Take your time to really feel the very fullness of the in-breath and the emptiness of the out-breath. Let that set the pace for which you'll flow with your body. So in today's practice, we had a request for helping to relieve tension in the lower back. And we're also going to integrate going upside down a bit, which is why I talked about reframing our perspective, as inversions literally turn our perspective upside down and just help us to view things from a different angle, but they also do so energetically. So let's start in our first inversion, and that's downward facing dog. Setting your hands on the floor towards the top of your mat. Spread your thumbs flat towards each other and stretch your index fingers straight ahead or slightly turn them out. Begin with your shoulders stacked on top of your wrist and your knees stepping back a couple inches behind your hips, with your feet hips width apart or wider. Bend your knees, tuck the toes, and lift your hips high and back away from your hands. Try to create the feeling of a long, flat back. And then begin to slowly pedal your feet in place, sensing the flow of your breath and connecting your movement to the pace of the breath. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. You might even add some other movements, anything your body is needing to help loosen up, such as gently shaking and nodding your head. Maybe adding to the pedaling of your feet by swiveling your hips side to side, which helps to open up the sides of the waist, lower back, and hips. So if you are dealing with any rather intense tension in your lower back, you might want to bend your knees more than usual in any of your forward folds, such as downward dog, which it also is. And anytime you're moving up and down out of and into a forward fold, bend the knees a lot and feel free to not fold all the way down, veering away from anything that causes pain. Now let's begin to walk up to the front of the mat, entering a standing forward fold. I mentioned before our recording that you could use a chair in front of your hands to place your hands on so that you can bow less if needed. So feel free to adjust with your props. You could be using blocks under the hands. You could be pressing your hands on your thighs, coming up even higher as you need. And again, as you're bending your knees, tilt your weight as far forward as you can, balance, and engage your abdomen slightly, which supports the lower back. Pressing your hands on whatever props or the floor, stretch your spine forward as you inhale. Let the shoulders soften back. And keep leaning forward and exhale, bow towards the legs, just your capacity. Let's try that a few times. Press with your hands. Inhale, lengthen forward into half forward fold, or Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow into Uttanasana. One more time, inhale, lengthen forward, using the hands to create traction as you press them down. Exhale, forward fold. Keep engaging the belly. Bend the knees at least a little bit and press through your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up, sweeping your arms slowly overhead and gently rolling the shoulders back and down as you gaze up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, trace your palms in prayer from your crown energy center to your heart energy center. Connecting with your intention for your practice. Saluting the sun with gratitude. Let's begin sun salutation C. Surya Namaskar C. As you inhale, sweep your arms forward again and gently coil your chest up. Remember, feel free to bend the knees. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Plant your fingertips outside your heels on blocks or the ground. Inhale, step left knee behind you into a kneeling lunge. Look up. While holding your breath, step back into your version of plank pose. Now, as you exhale, first lower your knees, then lower your chest, then lower your chin. Still the belly's engaged as you're looking forward, hugging the elbows in. Inhale, slide forward onto your stomach and drop the shoulders back into cobra. Root down through the tops of your feet. This helps to support the lower back. Exhale, tuck your toes, firm in the belly, and press back to downward dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward beside your left thumb and lower your right knee, gazing up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Press to your feet, activate your belly. Inhale, rise slowly to the top, softening the shoulders back. Exhale, palms in prayer from crown to heart. One more time, second side. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, gazing towards the sun. Exhale, bow towards the earth. Plant your fingertips on blocks or the floor. Inhale, step your right knee back. Kneeling lunge, gaze up. As you hold your breath, step into plank. Exhale, lower knees, then chest, then chin. Inhale, slide forward, firm down through the tops of your feet, and drop the shoulders back, cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips back, down dog. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb. Lower your left knee, gaze up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Rooting through your feet, inhale, rise slowly. Exhale, trace your palms in prayer to your heart. Let's move on to Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Press your hands into your blocks, legs or floor, lengthen forward. Step back to plank, and this time create a long line of the spine as you exhale, shift forward. Lower halfway as you hug the elbows to your ribs, and then choose cobra or upward facing dog on an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let your body be still as you steady your gaze and tune in to 3 slow breaths. When you've emptied the 3rd exhalation, walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat, forward fold. Press with your hands, inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Press with your feet, inhale, rise up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, palms connecting to your heart. Padasana, last one. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Either step to plank and lower as we did, or this time float lightly into Chaturanga and continue with your vinyasa. Arriving in downward facing dog. Keep your hips leveled left and right. Inhale, raise the right leg behind you. As you exhale, round into plank and bend your knee towards your nose. Softly as you can, step the foot forward beside your right thumb and spin your left heel down for warrior 1. Inhale, rise up to stand. Now let's pause here a few breaths as you're bending your right knee directly over the heel. Draw your right hip back. As you're straightening your left leg entirely, press your outer left heel into the floor. Spin your left outer hip forward. And then ignite your lower abdomen. Slightly lift your frontal hip bones, lengthen your tailbone downward, and lift up through the back of your skull while relaxing your shoulders down. As you steady your gaze for about 3 more breaths, relax your eyes. Virabhadrasana 1. Now I'm going to invite you to take your blocks if needed and frame your right ankle with your 2 blocks. You might start with the highest height. Lift the left heel off the ground and let's float in and out of a high lunge and pyramid pose. So keep the feet where they are. Inhale, bend your right knee just over the ankle. Exhale, begin to straighten the right leg, just the amount you can start to bow forward with a feeling of a flat back. So draw the right hip back, keep both hips equally facing forward. Let's keep going. Inhale, bend the right knee into a high lunge. Exhale, draw the right hip back, straightening the leg to fold. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, high lunge. And this time, step the left foot forward about 5 or 6 inches closer to the right foot. Keep each foot in their separate lanes. Bring your hands to your hips and inhale to rise. So you might want to have a strap here as we're going to bring the arms into cow face arms like this. And if so, hold the strap in your left hand and raise your left hand. Let the tail of the strap dangle behind your back. With your right hand, rotate your left outer upper arm to face forward and bend the elbow behind your head. Press the shoulders down. Seal the bottom of your front ribs in. Reach the right hand beneath behind you to hold the other end of the strap. And then walk your hands as close together as you can. Now, if your hands meet, you could release the strap and clasp your hands. Root down through toes spread and energize your legs and belly. As you inhale, drop the shoulders and look up. Firming in the belly, exhale, begin to hinge forward from the hips for about 5 breaths into your range of pyramid pose. Parsvottanasana. Now, lower your hands onto your blocks again and walk your blocks of foot in front of your right foot, entering Warrior 3. Lift the left leg parallel to the floor, square the hips to face the ground, and flex the left foot as you lengthen your torso forward. Draw the shoulders back, engage the sides of the belly, and you might opt to lift your hands off the blocks. Maybe join the hands in prayer, or extend the arms back by your sides or apart or overhead. If you've got lower back issues, probably arms overhead will not be suitable. 3 more breaths in Virabhadrasana 3. With the hands on blocks, walk the blocks back towards your right ankle and set your left foot on the ground. Step back, downward facing dog. Let's pause there for one long cycle of breath. Keep your hips balanced and height, and inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, contract your belly and round forward as you bend left knee towards your nose. Quietly step the foot beside your left thumb and spin your right heel down. Inhale, rise to stand, Warrior 1. As you bend your left knee right over the heel, draw your left outer hip back. As you straighten your right leg entirely, press your outer right heel into the earth and spin your right outer hip forward. Slightly lift your frontal hip bones and direct your tailbone downward. Then lift up through the back of your skull while relaxing your shoulders down. 3 more breaths. And if you used blocks earlier for our lunge pyramid flow, you may want to use them now too, just to have balance in your practice. Lift the right heel and come into a high lunge as you bend left knee over left ankle. Inhale, let the pelvis sink as you look forward. Keep your feet where they are, and exhale. Begin to straighten the legs by drawing left hip back just to your capacity. Bow as though you have a flat back, pyramid pose. Inhale back to a lunge, and then exhale, pyramid pose. 3 more cycles of breath. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. And exhale, pyramid. Come back to a lunge and step your right foot forward about 5 or 6 inches, shoulder stance, and drop the heel. Grab the strap if you think you'll use it for cow face arms, and rise up to stand for pyramid pose. Take the strap in your right hand. If you're using it, raise your right arm, dangle the tail behind you. With your left hand, spin your right tricep forward, bring the elbow behind your head and press your shoulders down. Reach the left hand behind you underneath, catch the bottom end of the strap, walk your hands as close together as you can, or clasp your hands and let go of the strap. Now for a moment, seal in the bottom of your front ribs, which when they're protruding forward can cause compression in the lower back. So make sure you got that in, and even belly is firming in. Relax the shoulders, inhale, look up. Exhale, begin to fold forward. Taking it breath by breath, root down through your feet, lengthen the spine. Keep the hips balanced and height. Parsvottanasana. Lower your hands onto your blocks and walk the blocks forward about a foot ahead of your left toes. Lean into Virabhadrasana 3, lifting the right leg from the inseam so as you can keep your two hips balanced in height. Flex your right foot, draw your chest forward as you firm in the belly. Feel free with variations of your arms you might have explored in the first side of this pose. Lower your hands on your blocks, walk the blocks back towards your left ankle, and set your right foot down. This time, come on down to your knees. And let's take the two blocks, place them on their medium height across the top of your mat like this, and have your knees about a foot or so behind the blocks. Extend your arms forward and spin your outer upper arms downward to spread the shoulder blades apart while you press the shoulder blades down. This is to stabilize the shoulders. Keep doing that. And as you bend your elbows, place them on the blocks exactly your shoulders distance apart. Press your fingertips into each other and see that your knees are a couple of inches behind your hips. And trace your thumbs down the back of your skull, as far back as your thumbs will go as you let the head drop, broadening your chest as it sinks towards the floor, while engaging your belly slightly, firming it in towards the lower back for support. Let's tune into 5 more slow breaths. Keep wrapping your triceps towards the ground and make sure the elbows do not splay wider than your shoulders distance apart. On an exhalation, engage your abdomen more strongly to help you rise up and off the blocks. Set the blocks aside, and let's prepare for our last active inversion, Dolphin pose. We're going to be in it for your count of 5 to 10 breaths, and we'll practice it just once. So set up the arms similarly, roll the triceps down, plug the shoulder blades down the back, and this time interlace the fingers and plant your elbows shoulders width apart on the floor. Firm down to your outer forearms and wrists too, and draw the shoulders back. Take a deep breath, tuck your toes, and as you engage your abdomen, lift the hips, press your chest back towards your shins. If it's available, walk your feet forward closer to your elbows and you're in the posture for 5 to 10 breaths. If it's available, you could step the feet together, keep the legs hips squared, and raise one leg straight up towards the sky as you flex the lifted foot. And then after a few breaths, you could switch legs. Those of you that practice headstand and have no neck issues, you're welcome to go into headstand. Shavasana, supported headstand. So in your last active inversion of 5 to 10 deep breaths, when you're ready to rest, keep your head low, and we'll meet in child's pose. Feet together at the rear of the mat, hips sinking down towards your heels as you rest your forehead on the ground or on a prop. You might let the arms drape down by your sides so that your shoulders can rest too. Tune into at least 5 slow breaths in Balasana, child's pose. Staying in child's pose with your hips low to your heels. Please walk your arms forward and stretch them actively forward like you're reaching for something at the front of your mat. But at the same time, draw your shoulders back, invite space in your neck, and draw your hips back. Then keep your heart close to the ground as you walk your hands over to your right side as far as your hands will go. Maybe outside of the mat, maybe you step the left hand on top of the right hand and let your head rest. In this lateral extension of your spine, invite your breath to deepen along the left side wall of your rib cage. and even down to the left side of your lower back. Imagine you have lungs there. Tune into about 5 more breaths here as we're now entering the yin, slowing down, deep stretch portion of our practice. Begin to crawl your hands through the center of your mat, transitioning to your left side. As your hands reach over to your left, you might place the right hand on the left. Now focus on breathing a little more into the right side of your body, especially the torso. Slowly walk your hands through center and continue to lengthen in both directions, forward and back of your spine. Now spend a few more deep breaths concentrating across your lower back as though you have lungs there. Begin to crawl your hands towards your outer knees. Drop your chin to your chest and engage your abdomen as you slowly inhale, roll up to sit upright, lifting your head last. And when you come all the way up, sitting tall, comfortably, begin to circle your head gently at the neck. Sense the quality of your breathing right now. Continue to lengthen in breath and out breath, slowly and evenly. Go in the opposite direction, circling your head. Sense the energy of your jaw, your facial muscles as you do this. Letting go of any unnecessary clenching or gripping. Come back to a neutral spine. Let's bring the legs in front of you. Make sure you have a block or two, as well as your strap near the back edge of your mat. And let's lower onto our backs. Begin with your knees bent, feet on the floor. Take a block and start with the lowest height of it. Slide it right underneath the flat part of your lower back. Coming into supported bridge pose. Separate your feet parallel to each other, about your hips distance apart. Bring the arms really close to your sides on the ground and turn your palms to face up by rotating the upper arms externally at the shoulders. Tilt your chin slightly back to open your throat and welcome slow, even breaths. Feel where the breath moves the most. You might sense the chest rising and falling, or maybe the belly. Now, if you'd like to lift the pelvis a little higher, you could stack 2 blocks or tilt the first block on the second level height or the third level height. Tune into about 10 calm, smooth breaths through your nose. As your feet remain parallel to each other on the ground, spread your toes and allow an even distribution of your weight throughout the 4 corners of each foot. And as you keep your thighs parallel to each other, spin your inner thighs slightly towards the ground without moving your feet. Visualize your tailbone lengthening forward at the same time, forward towards the space between your knees. These are more internal actions of directing more length and width throughout your lower back. At the end of this next exhalation, begin to lower your pelvis entirely onto the ground. Take your time. Take your strap in your hand and bend your right knee into your chest. Step the ball of your right foot into the strap, whether it's the loop or the center of the strap. Raise your right leg straight up towards the sky and hold the strap in your left hand, preparing for a twist. Slide the left leg forward on the ground. Move your pelvis about 3 to 5 inches towards the right edge of your mat and open up your right arm on the floor. Press the right shoulder down and gaze past it. Now, before you twist, sickle your right foot from the ankle, turn the sole of it to face your left wall, and this adds a little more lengthening into your IT band at your outer right thigh. Now, just 1/3 of your range, begin to cross the right leg over to your left. Starting the twist, breathe here. Pause at 1/3. Use your right thumb and hook the outer crease of your right hip with it, pressing that outer hip forward to create traction for your lower back. Now continue to press that right outer hip forward and reground your right arm. Continue to 2/3 of your twist. Breathing in. Keep drawing the right hip forward with your invisible thumb. Breathing out, continue to twist all the way through. Now, as you find whatever your full range is for today, and you could also put a pillow underneath your inner right leg to catch it. If it's available without straining, bend your left knee too, and with your right hand, catch hold of the top of your left foot so that we can help to lengthen the left quadricep, the front muscle of the thigh. As you bring the left heel towards your glutes, reground your right shoulder, gaze past it, continue to tilt your right outer hip forward. And wherever you are, let's be here. 4 more deep breaths. Gently release the left leg if it's bent. Roll onto your back. Take the strap in the right hand, press the left hand on the top of the left thigh, rotate your right leg to turn out and begin to open the right leg slowly. Flex both of your feet here. We're not going to be here too long. We're just touching it a bit into this hip opening hamstring stretch. Relax the shoulders and both hips on the ground. 3 more breaths. We got another hip opener that we're going to spend more time on, so we're saving up for that. Slowly come back to center, remove the strap. Bend your right knee, step the right foot on the floor. Bend the left knee into your chest and place the strap around the ball of your left foot. Straighten the left leg up, hold the strap in your right hand. Slide your pelvis now closer to the left edge of your mat. Open up your left arm on the floor, ground your left shoulder, gaze past it, and then stretch the right leg to the ground. Begin to sickle your left foot. From the ankle, turn the sole of the left foot to face the right wall. Now just 1/3 of your twisting range of motion, cross the left leg over you. Then pause and breathe. With your left thumb, hook the outer crease of your left hip and press it towards the front of the room. Feel anything here in your lower back? So we're creating more space to traction it. Now continue that action of drawing the left outer hip forward and then replace the left arm on the floor so you don't fall over as you continue twisting throughout your range of motion. Remember, you could also catch your inner left leg with your pillow. Make sure the left shoulder does not leave the ground. And then if you want to add that quadricep stretch for your right leg, bend the right knee. If it's reachable without straining, take hold of the right foot with your left hand and bring it towards your glutes. Reground your left shoulder. Continue tilting your left outer hip forward as you gaze past the left shoulder. About 4 more breaths. Gently release the right leg straight if it's bent. Roll onto your back. Give the strap to your left hand. Flex your feet and press your right hand on the top of your right thigh to ground the back of the right hip. Spin the left thigh externally, turn out the leg, then begin to abduct or move the leg away from your midline slowly. Just a few more breaths here. Bring the left leg upright again. Remove the strap. Bend your knees, step your feet on the ground. And from the right thigh, turn out your right leg. Flex your right foot and cross your right ankle over your left thigh like a figure 4. Stay here for a moment. Keep the left foot on the ground. And with your right hand, gently press away the top inner side of your right thigh while you ground the back of your left hip and the backs of your shoulders. So just help that right knee point open to the right without pushing the knee. Hand is low towards the pelvis. And feel your body breathe. Notice what sensations you're experiencing here. And sense if your body wants to just stay here, be in this position longer. Otherwise, thread your right hand between your thighs and with 2 hands, take hold of your left thigh or your left shin. Keep your head and shoulders on the ground and bring the left leg gently and slowly closer to you. Still flexing your right foot. You might splay the right thigh open by nudging it with your right arm. Let's tune into 5 to 7 more breaths and thread the needle. Step both feet onto the ground and just pause for a couple of breaths. Notice anything you're feeling. Then turn out your left thigh at the hip, and as you flex the left foot, cross your left ankle onto your right thigh and just stay here. Let the right foot stay on the ground. With your left hand, press away the top inner side of your left thigh. When I say top, that's close to the pelvis, not close to the knee. Keep the back of your right hip and shoulders on the ground. And let your breath support your body relaxing into opening up. We know that the breath, when we lengthen it mindfully, activates the relaxation response. Now ask your body what it wants. Does it want to stay here a little longer? Don't worry about the mind. Ask the body. Or do you want to move into thread the needle, threading left hand between your thighs, holding right thigh or right shin with two hands. And slowly and gently bringing right leg closer as you might nudge the left thigh to keep splaying open. Flexing the left foot. So when you're bringing the right leg towards you here, you don't want the left knee to come towards you, towards your face. You want that left knee to splay to the left. So if it starts to come towards you, that might mean back off a little. Keep the legs further away from you where you can keep that left thigh open. Because we want to find that external rotation, and we're deepening that here. Tune into about 5 more breaths. Release your both feet onto the ground. And then just relax in stillness for a few breaths. Notice anything to notice. I'm going to invite you into our last inversion, and that's a restorative posture or traditional shoulder stand, only if you feel like your body is wanting that and you know how to practice it safely and you don't have any injuries in your neck. Supported shoulder stand goes like this. You prop your sacrum on a block again and you lift your legs straight up. Traditional shoulder stand, Salamba Sharvangasana. Bring the elbows really close to your side ribs and plug them into the ground without swinging the legs. Use the help of your hands and the engagement of your abdomen to slowly lift your pelvis up off the ground as you tilt the chin back. As soon as you lift the pelvis, do not move the head side to side. You want to keep your neck safe. And you want to lift the pelvis high enough so that you're not flattening the back of your neck on the ground. We're inviting a vertical line of stacking ankles over hips over shoulders. Notice your breath. And from shoulder stand, you might choose to bring the legs overhead in plow pose, halasana. So whichever you choose, stay for 5 to 10 breaths. Notice the energy of this inversion compared with the energy of our active inversions of downward dog and dolphin pose earlier. So these inversions we're practicing now are cooling and they're more of lunar yin energy, whereas the latter ones were yang, active, solar energy. And yet, they both stimulate circulation, help to shift stagnant energy, promote digestion. When you're ready to come down, if you're in plow or traditional shoulder stand, make sure you have your elbows plugged into the floor really close to your body so that you can use your hands to gently lower your upper back, middle back, pelvis last. Otherwise, step your feet down, remove the block, and lower your back. Let's prepare for fish pose. Slide your legs straight ahead and bring your feet together where they can relax. Slip your palms face down underneath your glutes and let your thumbs touch. Press your forearms, palms, and elbows to the floor and tilt your chin back as far back as you're able to. Some of you might have the top of your head on the ground. Now, I invite you to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, any releasing sigh or sound 5 times before you lower to set up for corpse pose. This is called fish pose. When you're ready to set up for corpse pose, release the arms from under your body, stretch the legs out and apart. Let your feet relax, turn the palms up slightly away from your sides. Close your eyes and invite your body to relax in stillness as you let go of regulating the breath and expand in awareness. Shavasana. As you keep your eyes closed, just feel the weight of your body on the surface below it. Now begin to mentally scan your body for any sensations. And notice how you're feeling overall physically. Take your time, little by little, begin to move your body slowly and gently, keeping the eyes closed. Gradually turn over onto your right side, resting your head. Spend a few moments there observing your breath. And thus tuning into your energy right now. Does it feel any different since you began this practice? Start to lift your body up very gradually. Find a comfortable way to sit that allows you to feel grounded, alert, open, and relaxed. We're going to begin our 10-minute guided meditation with a calming, grounding pranayama called Samavriti, box breathing. So first you might place your hands in a position that allows you to cultivate the energy that you wish to feel, like grounded, palms face down, maybe thumb and index, fingers touching, or deeper in your focus, Gyan Mudra, thumb and index, fingers touching, palms face up on the lap. Or maybe a hand to the chest, a hand to the belly, or stack the palms face up on the center of your lap, thumb tips touching. Then as you sit tall, relax the shoulders, open the heart space, close your eyes, or steady a gentle gaze on one spot on the ground ahead. Samavriti pranayama goes like this. As you close your lips, we'll inhale for a count of 4, hold the breath for a count of 4, exhale a count of 4, and hold the breath a count of 4. That's one cycle. Let's practice 2 cycles together and 3 cycles on your own before we let go of controlling the breath again. Empty this breath to prepare. Then inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Cycle 2. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue 3 more cycles on your own. When you're ready to let go of controlling the breath, rest your awareness on the feeling of the natural breath coming and going. I invite you to return to the intention that you named at the start of this practice. Mentally, repeat the intention to yourself, maybe about 3 more times. Really feel the energy of the words you've chosen. Is there anything that you might want to adjust about the words you've chosen to help you feel more empowered when you say them? For example, instead of I want to have a better relationship with so-and-so. I nurture a loving relationship with so-and-so. See if there's any tweak of the verbs that you've chosen that can help you feel even more empowered without creating doubt. So words that you feel true to. And then I invite you to mentally say your affirmation you've just created, your mantra to yourself. Let it flow like a vinyasa flow to the pace of your natural breath. For example, inhale, I nurture. Exhale, my relationship with, a loving relationship with. Repeating this mantra in your mind. Inviting the feeling tone of what it means for that to already be in existence, that desire in fruition. And I invite you to transition into visualization. What would it look like for that mantra you've created to be in fruition? Begin to entertain as many of your senses as you can. Images, now letting go of thought form and experiencing a different modality, visual. Imagining the scenario and all the harmonious parts within it. And at this point, I invite you to let go of that active thinking and just be in the feeling state that you have cultivated through it. Sense it in your body without describing it. Sense it in your breath, in your posture, your energy, your state of being. Notice how you feel now mentally and emotionally. I invite you to acknowledge something you could offer gratitude for in this moment. And one more time, please say your intention to yourself. And return to that being that you dedicated today's practice to, remembering them. Let's close our practice, joining in 3 chants of Om, a way of sending out as well as reinforcing that vibration you've just cultivated through your practice. Deep breath in. Bowing in, acknowledging the light within. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.